Well, it looks like it's 6 o'clock, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started, and we may get some additional participants a little bit later, and we will give them a chance to catch up and or ask questions if they need to. I'm Chris Robbins. I'm with the Vallecillos Water District. I am the Public Information Conservation Supervisor. Um, we are here tonight. We're doing outreach to basically the community of Carlsbad to talk about the landfall assessment that we're going to be doing. It's going to start next week. And basically, this is a very large sewer line that's going from our service area over in San Marcos all the way over to the Encina Wastewater Authority just next to Carlsbad Beach, and on the other side or the west side of Interstate 5. And with me tonight is Susan Bowman. Susan's actually the project manager on this project, and she is also our asset management supervisor, keeping track of all of our devices that the district keeps and kind of their status and what sort of condition they're in, so we can make good decisions about how effective they are and what sort of work needs to be done on them. And I think if you saw any of the materials that got pushed out, this pipeline was put in, I think, back in 1986, and it's had some minimal inspections, but this is going to be a very thorough inspection, just making sure that it's operating okay. It's a pretty big pipeline. I guess they say you could drive a motorcycle through it if you were so inclined. And we just want to make sure it's still in good shape, and if it does need any work, what sort of either cleaning or maintenance that it needs. So I'm going to turn it over to Susan. She's managing the screen right there. She's going to give a PowerPoint presentation and walk us through what it is that we're going to be doing on this land outfall west condition assessment. So Susan, it's all yours.
Great, thank you, Chris. Yes, my name's Susan Bowman. I'm the Asset Management Supervisor here at Vallecillos Water District, and I am managing this inspection. So yeah, like we mentioned, it's a 34,000 foot long pipeline and installed in 1986, comes off of the district's lift station. So it has all of the wastewater that's generated within the Vallecillos Water District going through it. And it also collects wastewater from the Carlsbad area as we get closer to the coast, down where the Encina treatment plant is. So it conveys wastewater from both of those agencies. And it's also used as a backup pipeline for Buena Sanitation District, which serves primarily the Vista area. It's there for them if they have their own pipeline that takes wastewater to Encina, but if they have any issues with that, they're able to divert the flow over to this shared pipeline. So all three agencies built this pipeline together back in '86, and we all contribute to the maintenance and the costs of maintaining this pipeline. So the material, the western segments towards the ocean, are made of ductile iron pipe, and vitrified clay is the types of materials that we look at. Some of the pipe, small areas of it, have been lined with like a PVC type lining, but other areas are really the pipe that was put in back in 1986. So we want to make sure it's still in good shape. And approximately 1,600 feet are pressurized. So what that means is we, in order to get the wastewater over and through canyons, et cetera, there's certain sections that are called siphons that are under pressure so that we can convey that wastewater on over. So what's this project? We're going to be taking a look at the inside of the pipe. We'll be using a technology called CCTV, closed circuit television, and it is just what it says. And what an advanced CCTV tool that we're using, and it looks at all of the diameter, the inside diameter of the pipeline, identifies any flaws, anything that maintenance issues that may need to be done, marks those, rates the condition of the pipeline as we go through, and will then produce videos that we have available to us to review going forward. The eastern segments between Melrose and Acacia were replaced in 2006 as part of other projects. But as Chris mentioned, this area, the western portion of the land outfall between El Camino Real and the Encina treatment plant has had limited evaluation. We do look at the manholes on a regular basis and take other inspection activities, but primarily it's just been running, and so we want to take a look on the inside. And so critical information that we're going to gather from this, CCTV and sonar as well, that we'll be doing on this pipeline. We'll be getting information back from our consultant about the condition, and they will be letting us know what activities we should plan for in capital improvement projects going forward. Replacement, rehabilitation, such as lining the pipe in certain sections, cleaning that may be needed, etc. So they'll be working with us to rate the pipe and giving us a report on the work that needs to be done to ensure that it can continue to perform well going forward. So this project, it's about 2 weeks, the actual inspection piece. We've been working on the project for quite a few months, but the actual inspection effort is about 2 weeks total duration. Over here on the right is actually one of the devices that we'll be inserting into the manholes to do this, pardon me, to do this inspection. And currently this work is scheduled to occur June 7th through the 18th. So that's starting this coming Monday. Most of the work will be occurring at night. And this is primarily because of the way the sewer flow occurs. So you can assume that wastewater flow is diminished during the evening hours. People are sleeping and there's not as much wastewater being created. And that's important because when we do the CCTV, we actually are looking at the inside of the pipe, and we need the pipe to have as low flow water as possible so that we can actually see the physical pipe with the CCTV cameras. So it's critical that we do this work when the flows are low. Also, we will be doing some street setup of our vehicles and having to block off a little bit of the street right of way. And so by doing this in the evening hours, we won't be impacting the traffic as much. The primary areas, I'll show you a map in a minute, but it's going to be along, why can't I think of it now?
Palomar Airport Road.
Palomar Airport Road. Thank you. Appreciate that. So again, as I mentioned, the work will be occurring at night between the hours of about 9 o'clock and 6 a.m. So what impact will it be? It should be minimal. As I mentioned, some of the area is along Palomar Airport Road. Some of the area is out in trails behind that area. But we will have trucks in place, and there will be a generator that's used to help power the cameras to travel down the pipeline. So the generator noise may be audible. However, the inspection truck is a specialized vehicle, and it's equipped with the generator inside of an enclosed insulated box so that the generator noise is minimized. There'll be staff out there from the district. There'll be staff out there from Carlsbad, as well as the consultants. We have Hope Consulting and ProPipe doing this work for us, and they'll be out there. Additionally, on this project, we have environmental consultants who have ensured that we won't be impacting any aspects of the environmental area that we're working in. So any birds and things like that. As part of this project, we do have environmental consultants ensuring that we're not negatively impacting the environment that we're working in as well. So this is the alignment of the area that we're working in. On the far right, which is the eastern part. That's El Camino Real. The green line is representing the Outfall pipeline, the Land Outfall West pipeline, as we call it. And it goes along, as you see here, Palomar Airport Road, all the way up and down, coming out at Paseo del Norte, just as it traverses under Interstate 5 before it enters the Encino wastewater treatment plant. We will be starting on the eastern portion on Monday night on June 7th, and working our way through over the following 8 nights, depending on how quickly we can get through, towards the west, finalizing the last day night should be right there going under the Interstate 5 freeway into the Encino treatment plant. If you have any questions, you can, this video will be posted again onto the district's website. You can reach out to myself, but certainly you can reach out to Chris Robbins and his team. We have public information officers who can assist you with any questions that you may have, put you in touch with anyone, but certainly you may reach out to us so that we can assist you with any questions that you may have or concerns. We'd be more than happy to talk with you. We want to be good neighbors and to be quiet, but it is critical that we ensure that this pipeline is performing well, that it's safe, and is able to continue to do its job for the foreseeable future. So we appreciate all the support that the community gives us, and we appreciate that they recognize that we will be out there and hopefully making a minimal impact on all of you. So if there's any questions, Chris, do we turn that over?
Yeah, I'm not seeing any hands raised at this point. Marisol, I'm gonna unmute you, and you can unmute your own line if you have some questions. Marisol is the GM of the Motel 6, one of the places we're going to impact as their, I believe their manholes in their parking lot.
Right.
So do we know an exact date when it'll happen on my property where I need to block off the parking lot, or will you take care of that a day before?
Right. So I believe at this point, because you're at the end of the area that we'll be working on. Yeah. We're looking, I think it should be on the 17th. It may be the 16th, the evening of the 16th or the evening of the 17th. We will definitely contact you at least a few days in advance to let you know how that is playing out. If we've encountered any scheduling changes, we would let you know for sure. Our crews, Vallecito's crews, will be coming out to put up no parking signs around the manhole area. But we and we'll be working in that area. So for that evening, we would recommend that maybe those rooms that are right outside that manhole area, maybe if you have an ability to put folks in a different area of the motel, that might. Yeah, I'm sure.
Perfect.
Yeah, but yeah, as we get through next week, we'll definitely have a good idea whether it will be the evening of Wednesday the 16th or Thursday the 17th, or if for some unforeseen circumstances require us to push it out.
Well, okay, perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
Marisol, we'll reach out to you to make sure as we get closer to your specific location. Okay. Certainly.
That's it for me.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Gail, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you right now. And is there anything you wanted to add or ask us?
Let me unmute myself. Is this something that you put together and do virtually due to the pandemic? And is it something that you think you'll continue as a method of outreach to have the virtual meetings even after you're able to have people meet with you in person?
I'm pretty pleased with it. I mean, I'm displeased with the turnout. You always want to have
Right.
a bigger turnout. I think the reality, though, is this one really doesn't impact as many people as some of our other work does.
Right.
It's going to be at night. It's going to be a sewer line, and even some of the structures that it's going to be really close to. You know, there's a daycare center we're going to be really close to, but they're closed at night, so it's not really going to
Right.
impact them. So as soon as I provided them the info, there wasn't any specific details that they really needed to know. So I could see them, you know, skipping attending the webinar. But it is kind of a nice way to do this. And we did a re-sleeving project of some water lines back in the day, and went out and met with the community. And I must admit, it worked really well. We had canopies up and just kind of met all the residents in the area and explained what we were doing. And it was really good, but you know, not everybody can make those events. And you know, this makes it easier. And then, as Susan mentioned, we are going to record this, and we can show it to people at a later time or a later date and provide the information again and again and again. So it's a really nice tool. I'm pretty pleased with it.
So is this the first time you've done a outreach meeting like this and not on site?
No, we did one fairly recently, just probably about a month, maybe a month and a half ago, doing quite a lot of pipeline assessment in San Alejo Hills, where we're looking at, in this case, the water lines. And we've had some just less than satisfactory results with some of the water pipes, where we weren't real pleased with their lifespan, so to speak. And trying to look at the soil and see if, you know, if there's certain conditions that are causing this. And Susan, why don't you go ahead and give a little more on that?
Sure, sure. Yeah, as Chris said, we're taking on a lot of condition assessments to see how our pipes are performing and what work may be needed, so we can start to schedule that in to our capital planning. The San Alejo Hills area, although it's a relatively new area, pipes out there are only about 15 years old or so, but they've been failing prematurely, and we're trying to determine what condition assessment technologies are able to, you know, give us a look at those pipes without digging them up, so that we can plan for replacing them and hopefully avoid main breaks going forward in that area. The ductile iron pipe has had some conflicts with some of the other dry utilities that are out there in that area. So we have added in some of these assessments. It's ideally it's a cost-effective way to help ensure that the district's assets are performing well. And we're going to continue to expand the condition assessment projects here at the district, so we can schedule for upcoming renewals and replacements going forward.
Thank you, Susan. And without putting you on the spot too much, do you recall the days when you did have to dig these things up? And what's the difference in the intrusion and length of the project and cost? I imagine this new virtual version, you know, has a benefit at every, you know, on every level, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, the condition assessment, the technologies have really improved in the last 15 to 20 years. You know, it's so disruptive. If you're going to dig something up to see what shape it's in, you might as well be replacing it. You know, and the per mile price of replacing pipe is extreme. And then you've dug something up, and then maybe it didn't need to be replaced. So we're definitely looking at a lot of these different non-invasive type of technologies. You can put different things inside of the pipes, water pipes, different things, like here with this project and with Hope Consulting. helping us to use these newer technologies, the CCTV, the sonar. We're really able to get a good handle on what work needs to be done. And when we can budget for that, it helps to stabilize rates, helps the system perform better, avoiding unplanned emergencies, which are disruptive to all of us and very expensive. So it's a large effort of the district to take on, really, those things are called like the asset management program approach to managing all of the infrastructure in the district. So yeah, it's a great way to get the most for the money that we have available.
And the time too.
Mhm.
And but just having done a lot of public works outreach in my past life,
Mhm.
if anything is a hot button for the community, it's when their streets are torn apart. They
Exactly.
hate it. They just, and you just see it too. It's a nice
Yep.
over, it's a real scar. So
Yep.
great. It's great news. And
Good.
who doesn't love saving money and time on anything?
Absolutely.
And what a good point. If you're going to dig it up to look at it, you might as well just replace it.
Right.
What's the difference, right? You dug it all
Yeah.
up already. So
Yep.
does it allow you to do more frequent inspections because you aren't having to dig these things up?
Yeah, that's our plan going forward, is to really increase the rate of doing these inspections. We're also able to use the information that we do gather on the assets that we do look at to do some risk analysis and extrapolate that out to other pipes. We know what the materials are and the age and the conditions around, a subset of pipes, and ideally we can apply that out and use that for good decision making. And like I said, really look at the funding that we need over the next 20, 30, 40 years to ensure that the assets that we've already installed will continue to perform to the service levels that we need.
Great. Thank you so much. It's all good news. It's too bad
Yeah.
there. Well, and perhaps it's a comment on, the good management that your turnout is low because everything's fine. Nobody's here with concerns or complaints.
Mhm.
Yes, that's
Oh.
true.
That's
That's
right.
a positive aspect of it.
Although obviously a motel that's, very much on your pathway,
Yep.
will want to know. And the good news is they're sort of at the end of the line, so you'll know when you're heading their direction in advance. So that's good too for your
Exactly.
good for your constituents. So
Yep.
no effect on traffic as you're going under the freeway at all. The freeway is not.
No, we have an easement under the freeway. It's very deep. And so no, there won't be any impact to the freeway.
That's always a big
Yeah.
thing too. So great. Well, that's all I need to know with my, I just can't help myself but asking questions, even though I'm not in the area. So thank you so much.
Thanks for
attending,
joining.
Zita.
Oh, yeah, I know. And we'll assist hopefully in getting a little more of this information out via one more means to try to make sure nobody got missed. Is it possible to get some of the photos, Chris, or the PowerPoint? Although, as long as it's not a big whopper emailed to me, it looks like some of the photos that, I'm looking at this current slide might be fairly generic. I don't know if you've got any of the actual site.
Well, we don't have any of the work sites so much yet. And Alicia may actually do some snaps of it, but it's actually late at night. And so I'm not sure I want to do the overtime to get it, but I might.
Right, no, I'm not thinking while you're doing it. I'm thinking ahead of time.
Gotcha. I'll be able to get you something, certainly.
The map would be great.
Yeah.
That's a winner.
Yeah.
If you've done any similar, or maybe if Hope has any photos of them, working, what it looks like, or if you've used them before and have a previous project. And I would only need, Chris, maybe 3 or 4 photos tops.
Sounds good.
This is not going to be the War and Peace of pipeline inspection.
Right. Right.
Hey, Gail, this is Ari. Yeah, we'd be happy to provide you photos, you know,
Oh, great.
some eye candy. These are, as Susan was saying, I mean, in the pipeline inspection world, we really like to deploy kind of the latest and greatest inspection technologies. And this, what we're going to be using here is certainly in that category. So
Oh, we love eye candy and shiny tools, big tools. So yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
yeah, you bet.
Okay, well, if that ends our session, we're basically right on time. So I appreciate everybody showing up. Susan, anything else you want to add in before we sign off?
No, just again, yes, thanks for attending and looking forward to seeing what's inside the pipe.
Ah, thank you for your good service to your constituents.
Yep.
Well done.
Thanks,
Thank
and
you.
see you all soon.
Thank you very much. Chris, I'll have you a draft over maybe by tomorrow.
Terrific.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
night, all.
Bye-bye.